Do you regret switching jobs because since then you seem so sad? How much do you make from social media? About my GLP-1 update. Do you and your husband sleep in separate bedrooms? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is a good video because I am going to be doing a Q&A there. Well, you'll get to know me. This is going to be like a weekend vlog. I have a list of things that I do want to get done. When I get some time, I'm going to go through and answer some questions that I got on my Instagram and here on YouTube. So I thought that would be kind of fun. I think it's about time that I do another Q&A. I feel like they're going to be a lot of the same questions as last time, but that's okay because sometimes the answers to these questions change, and that is also okay. Currently Friday after work. It's been a long week. Honestly, it's been a better week than last week. It just felt slow. Like, it wasn't a horrible week, it just was very, very slow. And every single day I was like, is it Friday yet? Or no? Like, is it? No. But the good news is today I got some really good news. I feel like in a couple of my vlogs I sort of alluded to this. There's been like some changes happening at work. There's a new hospital that opened by me. It's an outpatient center that has the department that I work in. It opened in June and they sent a few people there to like open the center, and it's popping off. It's getting really busy, and they just posted, well, they're gonna post, I think next week, a new full-time position there. And because it's the same company, it would be an internal transfer. So, which means I would get to apply for it first before other people, and I would get considered for it first before other people. So I'm really excited because I went and covered there the other day actually when someone was sick, and it's really beautiful. It's such a nice facility. It's so close. It's literally in the same area that I do all of our like grocery shopping, regular shop, like it's in the main section of where we live. And I prefer this area than like where I work is like 30 minutes south of us, and I just kind of prefer this area, and it's really nice that I'll be able to know like if I get this job where we'll be able to buy a house. Like we've been kind of we've been waiting for other reasons, but I think it helps that we'll know where I'll be working too, so that we can choose where we live based on that and have a better idea of like where we could purchase a house where it'll still make sense for where I work. And apparently everyone thinks that I'll get it because apparently nobody else wants to go there. But you never know. I'm not trying to get my hopes up to like 100%. I feel pretty positive that I would get chosen for it, but you never really know. Off of that topic, because I could probably talk about that forever. I have to call to see if I need to go to jury duty on Monday. I'm kind of hoping I am because my work gives you like paid, like they'll pay me to be at jury duty. And I don't know. I'd rather be there than at work if I'm like being completely honest with you guys. So I do have to call and see if I have to appear at the court on Monday. Welcome to the vlog. I hope you're excited for this little Q&A vlog yap sesh. I feel like it's gonna be a good time.
County jury call-in box. All jurors on panel A and panel B submit to report on Monday, September 22nd.
I'm going because I'm group B. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm kind of excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I don't really want to be on the jury, but I want to go in and then them be like, oh yeah, we don't need you. And then I'll be like, bye. That's exciting. Cheers. If you live anywhere that has these are ciders, hard ciders, delicious. Down east, original flavor, so good. If you like ciders. If you don't like ciders, you might not like it, but this is based in Boston. But I feel like they've expanded. But I did get these last weekend when I was in New Hampshire visiting my parents, because I know for a fact they have these up here and they've been harder to find here in Pennsylvania. So I got 2 cases of these and I'm so excited to drink this right now because it's been a long week and we have things to celebrate. Cheers.
Rocking her to
First of all, I'm sorry for the lighting. It is so hard to film at night with good lighting. I figured I would take a little bit of time to talk about my GLP-1 update and like answer some questions about that because I just took my shot. I've always been open about this. I don't bring it up too much because I don't want that to be like the sole topic of my content. I haven't been hiding it either. I have been taking a GLP-1 medication for the last like 6 months, and I personally have had a great experience. I've really enjoyed my journey so far. I know it's not for everyone. I know not everyone agrees with taking it or being on a weight loss medication, but I felt like I needed to do what I needed to do for my health and my wellness. Basically, if you don't know, a GLP-1 medication is essentially weight loss medication, Mounjaro, Ozempic, all the things that are popular right now. But I am currently on tirzepatide, which is like a compounded version of the generic medication. You can get it from an online provider, and that's how I got it. I use Brello, which was the best price that I could find for tirzepatide, which is typically the higher priced GLP-1, because from a compounded pharmacy, you can get semaglutide or tirzepatide. There's some other ones I think, but those are the main two. And I tried semaglutide because it's cheaper. That made me very, very sick. So I was hesitant to try tirzepatide because like I work on my feet all day. I work in healthcare. I'm not able to like run to the bathroom all the time or step away from my patients or the machine or whatever. So I was hesitant to start tirzepatide because I did have tummy troubles when I took semaglutide. Happy to report that I've had a much better experience on tirzepatide. No real side effects, no debilitating side effects. Like that's what I felt with semaglutide. It was like, I can't take this if it like generally doesn't make me feel well. Like it's not even just like the day after, it's like days after, or if I ate something, I didn't feel well. Keep that in mind. I know tons of people don't have any issues on it, so I think it's person dependent, but I have heard that more people feel better on tirzepatide. So to me, worth the little bit of extra cost to get that and not feel sick. It cost me about $500 for 3 months, so it is a little bit expensive, but overall worth it for me. And the main purpose of why I take it is that it helps with food noise, which is huge, and also just like feeling fuller and knowing when to like stop. Basically helping you learn portion control. And it doesn't make you not eat, but again, it just makes you feel like, oh, okay, I ate this and I feel full. And like throughout the day, you're not like constantly snacking or feeling hungry. No real side effects. I would say every now and then I get nauseous, and especially when like I first started, I did feel quite nauseous, usually the day after, sometimes at night, like in the middle of the night. I'll be sleeping and I'll wake up at like 2 a.m. and feel just like very, very nauseous, but then it passes and I go to sleep. I've never like thrown up, maybe occasionally have bowel troubles, but nothing crazy, like nothing that I'm like, oh my God, I can't leave the house, or I'm worried that an accident's gonna happen. Like that's something that happened to me when I was on semaglutide, and I was like, I can't even leave the house. Like I don't feel comfortable even leaving the house because I think I'm gonna have an accident. None of that has been happening. And again, I think this is officially week 24. I'm just about 30 pounds down, which is crazy. It's been a long time since I've been at this weight, and it's a good solid, like this is a weight that I feel very comfortable at. So I'm not really sure what the end goal is. I feel like that's a common question. When am I gonna stop? Am I ever gonna stop? Am I gonna wean off? Like what's my end goal? And I definitely would like to lose a little bit more weight before I stop or like kind of wean myself off. I do eventually want to stop, because one of the other big reasons why I'm doing this is because when you prepare to have a child, unfortunately, and like kind of fortunate, like the less you weigh and the healthier you are to an extent, you know, like just because you weigh less doesn't mean you're healthier. It does put you at less risks when you're pregnant. It allows you to have an easier pregnancy, so to speak. Like hypothetically, ideally, on paper, you know, the healthier you are, the less like extra weight you have, the easier, the better, the healthier the pregnancy. Next year, the goal is to try to have have a child. So I would like to be setting myself up in a good position where the pregnancy will be easier. When I get pregnant though, or when we even start trying to have a baby, I can't be on this medication. So I don't see myself taking it that much longer. I would say between like 5 and 8 more months. I don't really have a set goal number in my head. I just know that like I still have weight to lose, if that makes sense. So I'm not currently like where I want to be. That's more of like it doesn't have to be a specific number, but more of like kind of how I look and how things are fitting. Like I know that like weight and weight loss and body image is a very taboo subject. I've struggled with it a lot in my past. It's just hard. It's hard to talk about because some people want you to talk about it. Some people don't want you to talk about it. And I've had comments on my TikTok being like, well, like I don't think this is something influencers should be talking about or influencing, and I'm really not. Like I'm just trying to share my experience. I'm not saying anyone should do this or shouldn't do it. Like you should do your own research, but the more people share about it, the more information there is out there, and the more real, like normal people are sharing about it and telling their experiences, the more information there is out there. I'm not trying to tell people you should do this or shouldn't do it. I'm saying, you know, if I was me, I would have liked to see some kind of video of people telling me like, this is exactly the situation. This is what I did. This is what I'm doing. This is what's working, not working. At the end of the day, you have to make your own decision about something like this. It is a medication. I don't totally know if they have an idea of if there's any long-term side effects. I don't know. It's up to you to make the decision if you are willing to put a medication in your body. No one can make that decision for you but you. But what I can do is share the information that I have. Anywho, I feel like I touched on all of the topics there, as far as I know. I feel like that was all of the topics. I personally don't have an issue with giving myself a shot. I know some people do. So I've been doing my thighs just because I've been told that doing it there can lessen your side effects. My biggest thing with this was I didn't want side effects. So I did everything I could to try to avoid it. And I switch off every week which side because they say that helps as well. So I keep track in the notes app on my phone how many units I took, what my weight was, and which side I did. So that next week when I look back, I can be like, okay, yeah, I did my right side, I'll do my left side. The other thing, and this is just what I did personally, I would maybe ask your doctor, your provider, whoever is prescribing this, but was essentially like microdosed the first few weeks. I literally probably started at like 5 units and then went slowly up like 10, 12, 15. But I knew for myself, and like what I read was that doing smaller doses in the beginning tends to help your body adjust to the medication. That's what I did. Again, I'm not saying you should do that at all. I'm saying do your research, figure out if that's what you want to do or try or whatever. I figured it couldn't hurt doing less than the dose prescribed. Obviously, I would not do more than the dose prescribed. I've also been very active. I do work out at least twice a week. I've been kind of slacking a little bit on that lately, but I do work out and I'm still trying to build those habits where when I do stop taking it, I'm not going to gain all the weight back. Probably a follow-up question that probably people are going to ask is, you know, after I have a baby, will I go back on the medication? Honestly, I would consider it 100%. Obviously not right away. Obviously if I'm not breastfeeding, but I could see myself going back on this medication eventually. That's all I'm going to talk about for that. Let's go to bed. Honestly, it's only 8:45. But I kind of want to go to bed. I at least want to lay down. I want to read. Let's talk about books real quick. Currently, still reading Wild Card by Elsie Silver. I'm just under halfway through. Absolutely loving it. Love this series. Love Elsie Silver's writing. This one, actually, speaking of body image, this one, there was a disclaimer in the beginning. This one does talk a lot about body image and like, unfortunately feeling like self-conscious and like you're not good enough and based on your size, you're not able to do certain things or be who you want to be. And especially, okay, it's the female main main character, and I feel like she has those thoughts and feelings because of her family and her parents, and I guess specifically her dad, but I relate to that so hardcore. I love my parents, but a lot of my trauma and issues with food does stem from my parents. It's hard. It's hard to think that like that happens to a lot of people, and it's really, really sad. And yeah, I don't know. Basically, I don't want to get too much into that, but basically, I feel like I relate a lot to the female main character in this book. So that's the plan for the night. Read as much as I can, and then go to bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. Hi guys, good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm feeling pretty good today. I had a rough night. I didn't sleep very well. Yeah, other than that, I'm doing okay. I have about an hour and 20 minutes before we're going to have brunch with my husband's family. So I have a little bit of time to answer some questions, and then also something that's been on my list of things to do for months is to list some of these clothes and just like things that I'm trying to sell on Poshmark or Facebook Marketplace. So that's on the list. I just started doing that. I have a Poshmark. I will put my Poshmark link up above if you're interested in I don't have much on here. I used to use this more frequently, but now I tend to just either donate my clothes or try to take them to Plato's Closet because this used to be super, super time consuming. We're gonna see what happens. Hopefully they sell. Yeah, usually I don't even care. Like if you send me an offer, I'll probably accept it at some point. I'll meet you in the middle somewhere, but I thought I would take a little bit of a break and answer some questions. First section of questions that I'm gonna go through are about my job, because I feel like that is the elephant in the room. I don't know. It's actually really not, but it is what I talk about a lot and kind of what my content is, at least about work-life balance and how I spend my time outside of work. This one's kind of sad. Okay, the first question, do you regret switching jobs because since then you seem so sad? Boom, roasted. Yeah. I kind of do, I would say. I thought about this the last couple weeks. Yes and no. No, because everywhere's kind of the same. I wasn't really happy at my last job either, and I was commuting an hour. The only good thing and thing that I really, really miss was that I was only working 3 days a week. That was so, so nice. I also really, really liked my one coworker. I feel like we got along really well. So I miss that aspect of it. I think it's really just more the fact that I went back to working full-time. I don't know. Overall, I think no, because I knew that this was a better move for me and I was gonna be closer to home. And then I also knew I kind of had to do it if I wanted to be considered for the new job at the facility that just opened 10 minutes from me, because it's the same parent company, so it's an internal transfer there. I think I knew it was long term what was going to be best for me, because even if I was still only working 3 days a week, commuting an hour each way is insane. And when you have family, when you have kids, God forbid something happened and I needed to drive home, I can't just be there really quick. It would take me an hour to get anywhere. So yes and no, but mainly no. I think I've just been sad because of the reality of going back to work full time. I don't regret it as much as I just kind of miss what I had, and I don't know if I'll ever get to have that back. There were 2 other questions similar, how are you feeling about your decision to go back to working full-time? Not great. It's trash. And then another question was, do you want kids? And if yes, do you see yourself working full-time once you have kids? That is ultimate end goal, is praying, hope to God that once we have kids, I can go part-time. And that does give me about 2 years to kind of figure it out, because I don't see us even trying to have kids until next August, this time next year. So that's a year, and then obviously you're pregnant for 9 months, and it would probably take us some time to actually get pregnant. Probably the next 2 years I'll be full-time, unless something comes up or unless something changes, unless I go crazy viral and can post here on social media full time. But I doubt that because I like having a job and I like the steady income of having a job. But ultimately, I want to be part-time so that I can be home with my kids, at least part-time. You know, if not full-time, depending on what our situation is, how it all works out. I think I would be genuinely so sad if I had to work all day and like not get to spend time with my kids, because that seems like something that would just like make me so happy. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I know my husband is very supportive of me, and if I was like, I can't do this, I'm so miserable, like I really want to be home with our child, I feel like we'd be able to make it work. We're not planning on buying a house that's like out of our budget or out of our range of being able to afford. So I don't think we'd ever be in a position where if I weren't working, we wouldn't be able to afford stuff. And I'm the type of person who will always find ways to make extra money. One of that is social media. So even if I was like, I can't do this, I would find something else. Like I would even work part-time at like retail place. Like I would rather do that, like a coffee shop, to be able to spend time at home with my kids and still be able to like pay the bills. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out because where I work is like a larger hospital system. So I believe one of the other centers, like when someone went on maternity leave, they were able to come back and work part-time. That would be ideal. I don't know if that will happen, and I can't guarantee that that's gonna happen. I can't like bank on that happening, but I do think the possibility is there. And again, if not, I might just try to figure out something else because I don't know if I would be happy at all if I was missing so much of my children's life. It's kind of actually nice to have that extra money right now working full time because I have no responsibilities that I would need to be part-time right now. So the grind to like save money, get a house, prepare ourselves, like set ourselves up for the future in the next like 2 to 5 years, it's worth it for me to go back full-time now. I guess that's kind of how I'm feeling about it. I think there's like 2 more questions about like work-related stuff, so I'll answer those and then we'll take a little break. I have one question. Would you ever consider leaving healthcare? I work in healthcare too, and I've never felt so burned out in my life with people's bad behavior and demands. Absolutely. I would 100% consider leaving healthcare. I think about it all the time. I think I'm also in a weird situation right now where healthcare jobs, specifically kind of like these tech jobs, nurse jobs, they allow you to be able to work part-time usually. Like there's more opportunity for like part-time positions, which is like what I would want in the next 5 years and like probably until my kids are older. And then after that, maybe. It's just hard because, I mean, easily right now, I would love to get a work from home job. There's definitely times where I'm looking and I'm trying to figure out like what could I transition into that would potentially like bring me in similar amount of money, and with like the degree that I have and the experience that I have, like what could I go into. I do have a master's degree in healthcare administration management, so it's not out of the question for me. It's just hard when I don't have a whole lot of experience either. So when I look for jobs, it's like there's no way I would get that job, that I have no relevant experience or anything. So the potential perk of like being able to go part-time in healthcare is what's kind of keeping me in this field, at least for a little bit longer. But if not, I mean, I would 100% even consider moving into a different industry, totally. Like, I would love to do something like social media marketing, influencer management, like anything kind of like that, because I feel like now that's kind of a passion of mine and I have like a decent understanding of it. It's really hard to figure all that out right now. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to make it through the next like couple years, I think, before I would consider making a total career change, and I don't want to move into a different industry and then get laid off or something. So that's where my head's at. That's where my head's at with switching jobs in healthcare right now. But it's tiring, it's exhausting. Everyone is just very negative, and that's where I'm finding a hard time, I think. Like, I complain too. I'm a big complainer, trust me. But like the general vibe where I'm working right now is very negative, and I get it. It's hard, it's tough. Like, we work in a healthcare job, we work to provide for others, but that's kind of where you need to like remind yourself that I'm I'm helping others. I have a purpose. I'm here to make people's lives a little bit easier when they're sick. I know that they're just scared, worried about 1,000 things. They probably have 1,000 other things going on in their life. So I try to have a lot of empathy with people. There's definitely times where you're just like over it. You know, by the end of the week, you're just like mentally and physically exhausted. I've talked about this a lot in like my short form content. I came up with this kind of analogy the other day where it just feels like all day you're giving your energy to other people, and at the end of the day there's just no energy left for yourself. That's where it gets really, really hard, because you're like, okay, you're seeing all these other people too, like you're comparing yourself to all these other people that are working from home, have a nice 9 to 5, they can go out and get lunch, and they can go for a walk in the morning, and then they come home and they can go to workout class and not feel totally exhausted. So it's hard when you're seeing all these other people online too, living this like vision of a perfect life. It may not be as good as it seems. The grass is always greener. But I do feel like those jobs are better. Like my husband works from home. He gets to do laundry during the day. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. He does. He's on the phone like all day dealing with people, but he does have the luxury of sleeping in, walking to his office, doing laundry, feeding the cats, cleaning, like all of those things during the day. So you're like, that's very appealing. That is super appealing. But I don't know. I forget where I was going with that. But basically, I don't think I could work in like a patient-facing job forever. Definitely set myself up where that I could potentially move out of a position like this, like move into more of like a management type position in the future with like having a master's degree and all of that. So I think it just comes with time and experience too, or you know, if you really are passionate about trying something else, like being in a totally different job industry, then I say go for it, because life is too short to be like that miserable. And then the last question is, I mean, this is kind of a social media question, but it also relates to like working. But the question is, would you ever do social media full time? If I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I would. I don't think anyone would say that they wouldn't. It's kind of like the dream job, and everyone always says it. You're just posting about your life. It's very natural. It's time consuming. I was gonna say it's hard. It's not easy. It's not hard, but it's time consuming, and you have to be creative, and you have to show up. You have to be consistent. It's just a different kind of work, but it's like the ideal type of work where you're posting on social media, just sharing your life, connecting with people, getting paid to be yourself, show your life on the internet, work with different brands, get sent free stuff. These like big influencers get to go on trips. They get so much free shit. So yeah, that is super appealing. I don't think anybody would say that they wouldn't want to do that. I think people who hate on it on the internet are just jealous. Like in a way, I'm not saying like you're just jealous. Like in a way you are. Like I've felt that way about people. Like I'm like, oh my God, like I'm genuinely jealous of these people. So I think, yeah, like 100% I would if I was making enough like consistent income to do this full time. 100%. I don't know who wouldn't. I think it would be a hard transition for me based on like some of the content that I post, but I've never been someone to hide the fact that I don't enjoy working like a full-time regular job. So I think my followers would understand. I still think there would be people who like don't agree with it or don't like that I'm not working anymore, or that they don't find me relatable anymore. So that's like the hard part when you're a content creator and decide to try going full-time with content. But I think if you do it at the right time and you've kind of been honest with people the whole time, then it would be easier. Like I wouldn't do it until I was like a mom. And then if I'm like, hey guys, I'm stopping working to be a mom, stay-at-home mom, and a full-time content creator, I feel like people would be like, oh, okay. Like, I get it. If I was just, like, to do it right now, I feel like people would be like, girl, you're dumb. Why are you doing that? And, like, fair, valid. So I think it all depends on timing, your approach to it, and, like, how you're talking about everything and being honest with people. So, yes, absolutely I would. I would have to be a lot bigger of a creator than I am right now to feel comfortable doing it full-time. Like, full-time. Like, I feel like you're always kind of a full-time content creator because you're thinking of stuff all the time, but ideally working part-time, still doing what I do, and posting on social media. Okay, I need a break. I've been talking way too long. This is why I can't do Q&As. I talk too much and I get really into it, and I like to explain a lot of my answers. So we're gonna finish listing these clothes. I have like 2 more things to list. Hi guys, good morning. Happy Sunday. I wasn't feeling the greatest this morning, so it's already close to 10 in the morning and I just got up, got ready. We do have to do our grocery shopping today, and then I want to do a little bit of meal prepping, and we have football to watch today. I'm not going into work tomorrow though, so that kind of like throws off my weekend and my like plan for the week, I guess. Like I was like, oh wait, I actually don't need 5 lunches this week. I only need 4 because I'm going to jury duty on Monday. Well, I have some time. I thought I would answer some of like the quick, like easy questions, and then when we come back, I can answer some more of like the in-depth questions about house hunting, my marriage, my relationship, and then some social media questions. Some of the quick, like fun questions. Someone did ask what are my top 5 books that I've read so far this year, and that's a great question. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been filling this out very frequently. This always happens to me when I do a bullet journal. I get to like September and I just kind of stop, which is unfortunate. But the only thing I have been consistently filling out is the book tracker. These are all the books that I've read so far. I would say my top 2 books are The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. Oh my god, I was in tears. That one had me like gutted. And then Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Did not think that was gonna be top on my list, but that was amazing. Loved that. And then Wild Side by Elsie Silver. That was my favorite of the series so far. I am still currently reading Wild Card. I did also really like One Golden Summer. I gave that 5 stars. Every single book I've mentioned so far, I've given 5 stars. And then the only other book that I've given 5 stars this year is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Someone did ask, I kind of answered this already. What is your job in healthcare? I'm a radiation therapist, which is essentially the tech that treats cancer patients with radiation. So we run the machine. We can we're trained in imaging. I can't be an x-ray tech, but we do take x-rays, we do CT scans, and we perform the treatment with the radiation. And then in the same question they asked, have you tried the crisp apple bloom? Yes. I did buy a case of those to try because I couldn't find them like single anywhere. So I bought a case of them and I was like hoping that I liked them, and I did. I figured I would because I like apple flavored things. Something about an Alani like hits different than a bloom, like the carbonation of it or something. But I've found that I should probably stop drinking Alani's because someone told me that they have biotin and like vitamin B12, which can cause like skin issues, and that's probably why my skin's been breaking out, and I haven't been drinking them the last few weeks and my skin's been better. So unfortunately, I feel like I probably need to start drinking the Bloom energy drinks instead of Alani's. Someone asked what college did I attend. I've attended 2. I got my first undergrad degree at Marywood University. It's in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is where we live now and where I met my husband. I did 2 years nursing and then ended up in a business degree. Graduated with that. Wild, I know. And then I was like, I actually enjoyed healthcare. I didn't know what to switch my major to, and I still wanted to stay at the same school because obviously I was dating my husband, I was on the swim team, like I really enjoyed my college experience, so I didn't want to leave, but I didn't want to be a nurse. Yeah, I ended up graduating with a business degree, hated it. I was so miserable those last 2 years, like it was probably the lowest my mental health has ever been. And then I decided that I wanted to go back to school for radiation therapy. There was only a few schools that had it, so I went to Massachusetts College of Pharmacy in Boston, and that was again such a really cool college experience to do it when I was a little bit older. I felt like I was appreciative of it more, and I got to like live in the city and live downtown, ride the train, like feel very independent, and that was really, really cool. So I enjoyed that experience, but then COVID hit, so it was kind of like tough. But I lived closer to my family. My husband ended up moving out there with me for 2 years. And then that's kind of when we were like, we want to like have a house and a family, be able to like afford those things. So we moved back here because that just like was not going to be possible. And I also got my master's through Massachusetts College of Pharmacy because they gave you like half off if you go back to get your master's there. So obviously I did that. Someone asked, can you share the products that you have been using on your neck? Because as you know, I'm trying to like lessen these necklines. They drive me nuts. One of the products that I'm using is the Ordinary Glycolic Acid Exfoliating toner. I'm actually really glad I got this product because I think it's overall helping my entire skin. The other thing that I've been using is this Nivea cream. It's just like a very, very thick, sorry, it has like tape on it. Very, very thick moisturizer. And I do feel like this has helped make my skin really soft. I don't know if it's necessarily helping with the lines or anything, but my skin does feel very soft. And then the last thing that I've been using is this firming serum stick. This was like the most highly recommended product, and it's just like this thing and you like roll it on your neck. So yeah, I don't know, I've been using it maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I wouldn't say I totally notice a difference. I wouldn't say I don't notice a difference though, and again, my skin does feel soft. Someone asked, have you ever traveled outside the US? And if so, how was the food experience abroad? Which is very interesting. Yes, I've been out of the country quite a few times. I used to love to travel. I still like the idea of traveling. I just have a lot more anxiety these days and get very nervous. And with some of my weird like health anxiety as well, it just makes traveling harder. But I was very fortunate in high school. I traveled with my Latin class, like a 10-day trip of Italy. So I got to go everywhere in Italy, and that was super cool. And then my senior year, we did like major cities. So we did London, Amsterdam, Paris, and Brussels. And that was really cool. And then I went with my mom and brother to Ireland for like his senior graduation gift. Me and my husband have gone to Greece, and we also went back to Italy to a couple places. That we went to the Amalfi Coast, which I hadn't been there in my previous trip. I've been to a bunch of islands in the Caribbean and Canada. I've traveled quite a bit. I'm very fortunate. I'm blessed, and I've loved it. It's so cool seeing other places, and like especially places that have a lot longer history than we do. The second part of the question, how was your food experience, is funny because I'm not a foodie like at all. So the one trip I did with my husband, we were on a cruise that like dropped you off at different spots. So honestly, for the most part, we ate on the ship, which is pretty sad because the food on there is like not good, but it was more out of necessity and out of like not spending money. But the food that we did eat was very good. And the food that I got to eat on like the other trips was also very, very good, especially in Italy. Italy has very, very good food. And I just find that like in general, other places than the United States, which I know, which is pretty common knowledge, that other places, the food is just like made from better ingredients and better quality. Oh, I've also been to Germany because my brother lived there for 3 years because he was in the military. So we went there. The food's good. Like, I feel like it's definitely better and like better quality, better ingredients. But I'm also not a foodie. That's all I'm gonna answer for now. We're gonna go grocery shopping. I'm gonna throw in laundry, and then I'll come back, answer some more questions for you guys. Some laundry to fold, so I'm gonna do that and try to answer the rest of these questions. Also, fun fact about me, I can't sit normal. I always have to be like crossing my legs or sitting like this. So let's start with questions about social media. I feel like that is a fun topic, a topic that I enjoy talking about. So the first question is, what got me started in social media? If you can't tell, I don't normally do things while I'm talking because I have a hard time multitasking, so I do apologize if I keep stopping to talk or get lost in my thoughts because I do have a hard time doing two things at once. But the first question is, what got me started in content creation? It's kind of a weird story. I started posting probably back in like 2020, and that was originally like a business account, like solely for my Etsy shop and like small business. I wasn't really ever showing myself on my channel either, and this was just TikTok. I started with TikTok. I wanted to like make some extra money, so I was promoting things that I was selling on my Etsy shop, like stickers, shirts, things like that. And then I realized how fun it was and had some some videos go like really viral. I knew that I didn't want to do that forever because it was really time consuming and really hard, because then like if I had all these orders coming through, I was also still in school back then. And then when I started working full time, I had like 2 different businesses going on. I had an office space even, but I was also working full time, so it was really challenging to manage it all. But then at the same time, that's sort of when I started my personal social media account and started doing well on there too. So I was like, okay, let me just focus on like my personal brand and filming content that I want to post and like my lifestyle content versus like trying to create a business that I don't feel like very passionate about. I would say I started my current TikTok account in like 2021 or 2022. Sometimes I get in my head a little bit like, oh, you know, I should be like further along. I should be getting more views. I should be getting better engagement. I don't know. It is really hard to not be in your head about stuff, or like watching other people and them performing better than you when you've been doing it for so long. And then I'm just like, well, am I not doing it right? I get so in my head about all of it. So sometimes creating content it can be like very challenging and like challenge you a little bit mentally, because you're like, it's such a mind game. It's not hard like my job hard, but it's hard in like different ways than what a normal 9-to-5 job is. So that's kind of how I got started. And then I like started then posting also on like my Instagram and YouTube, I would say maybe 2 years ago now. So like sort of after I started gaining a little bit of a following, I was like, okay, if I really want to do this and like at least try or be like a mid-range influencer, I definitely need to diversify and start posting on different platforms, and that way I can get audiences from different platforms. And I'm so glad that I did, because I love YouTube. Like, I could do YouTube forever. That would be amazing. Like, it's so much more fun. It's definitely way more time consuming than any other platform, because the editing process is a lot more time consuming, but I feel like it's way more fun. It's a way to be a lot more creative, and actually genuinely people can get to know me for me instead of these short form videos. How much do you make from social media? They wanted to know like specific, like from certain view numbers and things like that. That's really hard to pinpoint exact numbers. Like even on TikTok, it could change. Like one video you could get $1 per 1,000 views, a different video you could get like 50 cents per 1,000 views. Like it's so different. And even on YouTube, it just depends on like the ads that are running in your videos. I don't even know. Like I truly don't know. It could change day to day, video to video. I can't give specifics based on like specific view numbers, but I mean, I have no problem sharing numbers. Obviously, I share a lot of like personal information about my finances on the internet. I would say it comes in waves. It's not steady, which is why a lot of people don't do social media full time, and it's why I feel like a lot of people get judged for doing social media full time. Like unless I was making a very steady amount constantly, then I wouldn't do it full time, because it's a risk. And like being very frank and honest with you, like this month I'm not making a lot from social media, but like previous months I have made $2,000 to $3,000, even more than that. But there are months where I make $500 or $600, which is still good. Like it's extra money, and that's again like a big part of why I do it. I enjoy it, but I also get extra money. But it all depends. Like it's so dependent on different things. It's dependent on the time of the year, how much money people have, like companies have in their ads. In general, I would say YouTube is consistent in the sense of like I tend to make the same amount every month, and I get the same sort of views. Obviously I'm trying to grow on here. I would say I make roughly $200 to $300 on YouTube every single month. TikTok is where it's like really up in the air. If you have videos that do really well, like 500,000 views to like 1 million views, you would get way more money. Obviously, there are things that qualify a video to get monetized versus not, so you have to keep that in mind as well. I would say I average like $1,500 a month on TikTok. I also, obviously that's pre-tax, so anything that I get, I save money for taxes. And then brand deals, that's another like very up in the air number, just because certain brands have different budgets. I would say the lowest I would go is like 500, and the highest I've ever been paid for a brand deal is 2,500. But sometimes too, like that was more of like a package deal. Like I made 2 videos for them, and did some like photos. So it all really depends what they want, how much they want you to do. Amazing money to get paid for like a little bit of work. Like it is work, but not nearly as much work as like even one 8-hour shift of me working my real job. So I hope that helps, gives you a little bit more information on like how much money influencers are making. And like I'm not even like a big influencer, so keep that in mind, how much money these people are making, and is like another big reason why I continue to do this and like want to do this and want to grow, is the opportunities, the money, the life that you could live from doing this full time is amazing and incredible to me. Like it's such a interesting avenue to like go down. Last question about social media, because again, this is the problem with me doing Q&As. I could yap on and on about everything for so long. Like I guarantee you this video is going to be pretty long. The next one was just advice for someone wanting to start social media but scared what people will think. Just freaking do it. Just do it. And like everyone says this, but easier said than done. Don't care what people think, because again, if you're getting a $2,500 brand deal or more, who cares? Like who cares what people think? It's more like I wouldn't want to stop doing this just because somebody's saying something about me behind my back, when like, you know, you never know when your channel's gonna blow up, a video's gonna blow up, and like all these opportunities could open for you. So that keeps me going more than what people are what people think about me. And you know what? Much as you don't want to hear this, the people in your life are gonna find out. They are. And it sucks, but it's really not as bad as you think. Like everyone has been pretty supportive, at least to my face. But my family members know, my people who I work with know, my husband's friends know, like people in town know. So it's definitely hard and like embarrassing a little bit. Like, oh, these people watch all my videos, and like sometimes you feel like, okay, I don't want to post this because so-and-so is gonna watch it. But like, and like again, I've just started to train myself to be like, I truly don't care. Other advice, just keep posting. Consistency is like super, super important. I post at least once every day. I try to do twice a day now on short form, and once a week on YouTube. Like that's the biggest thing, is people want to like see your videos, keep coming back. They don't want you to post once and then like never again. It's truly consistency and showing up, engaging with your audience, and just like finding ways to make your content a little bit better, making sure your quality of your video is good, making sure the content of your video is good. Typically what I do is use the back camera on my phone, because that's way better quality. Sometimes even if I'm doing like a video where I'm filming myself, I do 0.5 zoom and use the front camera because it's just better, or the back camera because it's just better quality. You're gonna need to like show your face on your videos. I feel like that's important because again, when I first started, I was more doing like businessy stuff and I was showing things more than like showing myself. But a big thing with social media is creating your brand, and like people want to connect with you. Like I do a lot of voiceovers. I'm trying to start to do more like videos where I'm actually talking to the camera, because that's where people are actually gonna like connect with you and get to know you. Think of the people that you follow. Like you're scrolling and you see their videos, and like again, you see their videos every day, you're kind of coming across their videos, is because they're posting constantly. And again, it's not gonna be easy. Like sometimes I'll even write out, okay, I want to do like an after work routine video on Monday, a morning routine video on Tuesday. Every day I'm posting a video, so every day I need content, basically. There's planning that goes into it, there's strategy to an extent, and there's just showing up. I could do like a whole video probably on advice for social media. The basics are show up, try to create like good, engaging content, and just be yourself. Like truly, it's all the stuff that people say. It really is. There will be something that's unique to you that like your followers will like connect with you on. Like I feel like for me, it's a lot of my like, I'm an introvert. I like to be home. I like to have like cozy after work routines. I'm a healthcare worker. Like there's different things I mentioned that like could connect with certain people, like groups of people. Find like something about your life is interesting for sure, or relatable. You know what I mean? We'll move on to like questions about my husband and our relationship and things like that. How did we meet? And then in the same question it said, do you have any siblings? We met in college. The first time I went to college, we actually met through like mutual friends. And then we met at a party, but it was like a smaller gathering. So there was more time to like get to know people and like talk to everyone. And he asked our mutual friend for my phone number. And then like the next weekend we went out on a date. And here we are, 9 years later, still together. married. And then do I have any siblings? Yes, I have a older brother. He joined the military, like he did ROTC in college and then like traveled a lot after that. So he's been kind of living all over the place. Florida, Oklahoma, Vegas, Germany, and now he's out of the military, but he's back living in Oklahoma. So I don't see him often. I did see him last weekend actually, but when we were in high school, we were always at that weird age gap where we weren't in school together very much. But my freshman year, he was a senior, so we got like closer that year, but then he went to college, so. And my husband also has a brother, a younger brother. He's out in Colorado, so we don't see him much anymore right now. But we think him and his girlfriend are going to move back. What does your husband do for work? He works in insurance, like health insurance, but he's not an agent. He helps agents get like contracted to sell insurance. And that's all I really know, to be honest. Do you and your husband sleep in separate bedrooms? Yes. I have talked about this before and I don't feel shame about it or anything. It's what works for us. And we both get very good night's sleep. And the main reasons is because we just have like kind of different schedules. And I'm a light sleeper and I need my sleep. If I don't get sleep, I'm miserable. And I'm a very tired person. I swear to God, I need to get I think I figured out what it is. Like, I'm very fatigued. I think it might have to do with the anti-anxiety medication that I'm on, actually, is what I've recently figured out. So if I don't get my sleep, I'm just very much in a fog all day. I'm moody, I'm angry, and because I go to bed at 9, I'm in bed around 9 reading, and then I'm asleep by 10. My husband, on the other hand, he'll stay up till midnight or 1 because he doesn't have to get up until about 8:30 in the morning, where I'm getting up at 5:30 or 6. So we just have different schedules, and it's not that big. I know that that's not that big of a difference in schedule, but it's enough for us where he's not waking me up when he would come to bed, and I'm not waking him up when I would have to get up in the morning. And then we're also both getting sleep, because then if he's moving around, he snores, and that is, ooh, if he were to wake me up and then he was snoring, I would not be able to fall back asleep, and I would be just sitting here listening to him snore, and I would end up getting up and leaving and going sleeping somewhere else. So I don't know. It's what works for us. Whether you find that weird or not, I don't know. I think honestly it helps us because we're both not grumpy, sleep deprived, and angry at each other for waking us up every single night. Next set of questions is, they were all relatively the same, so I'm gonna group them all together and answer them together. Can you describe your dream house? What things do you want your house to have, and do you plan on house hunting in your current town or another area? So all house related things, which I am so excited to talk about because I'm so happy that this is finally so close to being I'm just so happy that it's so close to being achievable and what we're actually going to be doing. We would be house hunting in this area, not necessarily this town exactly. We do like the town that we're in, but everything here is very close together, but more likely a surrounding town. We have a couple areas that we like good school systems and stuff. We're kind of open to different areas, but it's all within a 30-minute radius, I would say. What things do you want your house to have? Non-negotiables for me is natural lighting. I need light. This apartment kills me, absolutely kills me, which is why I pretty much only ever film in this room, because there's no light. We live in a townhouse type apartment. It's an apartment, but they're set up like townhouses, and we're on the end unit, but there are no windows along this wall. None. Not a single window. So there's no light coming in from this side. There's barely any windows in the front. So our living room has no windows. I don't know. There's just there's just no windows. There may be 4 in this entire apartment. Ideally, tons of windows, natural light. 1, I like having natural light, and 2, I want to create better content and have more space and areas to create content. So that's been really hard here. Also, not being on a main road, that's a huge thing for me because I can't stand all the cars going outside, driving by all the time, honking all the time. And then we also live next door to a breakfast place and a bar. So sometimes it's super busy. It's loud in the morning sometimes. It's loud at night sometimes. I'm just over it. That we also want definitely 2 bathrooms. That is essential, or at least the option to make a second bathroom somewhere, probably immediately, just because it's so hard only having one bathroom. And I need a bigger bathroom too. Like, this bathroom is tiny. We also want a basement. It doesn't have to be finished like when we move in, but definitely a basement that could be finished. My husband works from home, so he does need like somewhere to have an office. So until we need, or if we need 3 bedrooms, then we could have the office, but we don't need 3 bedrooms, we could have an office. So it all depends. And then I would like obviously dream house, ideal. I would love to have a porch, and I would love to have some sort of patio. Like, not necessarily like a big deck or anything, but definitely a place for like a patio and a fire. So we already have a fire pit. We got that for our wedding, like a wedding gift. It's just we can't use it here. So we want a backyard of some sort because we also have a black stone that we can't use. I would love like a really cool backyard, like one that everyone wants to like go hang out and like have cookouts and whatever. Like, I love that idea. One of the other things, like common questions was like, okay, what's your like dream house versus like what's reality? In this area, I feel like a lot of that stuff is possible. The houses in this area are old, so it may not have everything that I want, but a lot of houses around here actually have a porch, which is really, really nice. And what I do like about the houses here is because they're older, yeah, they might need like some work, but they're all very unique. Every house kind of has like its own unique setup, and like something about it is like kind of unique. So I love that. Like, that'll be interesting when we start actually looking, is seeing like what all these houses look like, instead of like, I grew up in a neighborhood where all the houses on my street kind of look the same. So like, that's kind of boring. There's a lot of houses out there that definitely meet a lot of my expectations and are within the budget. So I love that. Like, that's a huge reason why we moved back to Pennsylvania in the first place, is just affordability and being able to like live the dream and have a house and whatever and be able to like pay for everything. The reality of it is, it's not gonna be picture perfect when we move in. It's probably gonna be more the case of like, it's gonna be when we move in, but like, I'd rather that, and then we could renovate certain areas as we go. I don't mind projects, I don't. And I don't mind doing things myself and learning how to do things myself. 2 of his friends are very, very handy, so we don't mind asking them for help, asking them to borrow tools that they have. I went through Pinterest obviously to find some like inspo photos just to show you guys kind of what my like vibe is. It won't look like this when we move in, for sure. A lot of houses are old and people didn't like update stuff. But my vibe is very basic. I'm not gonna lie. It's very basic, like farmhouse. I like cottage, country, neutrals, whatever. I like pops of color though. It's hard when you're searching on Pinterest to find like kind of what you're looking for, especially when you don't have an idea of like what your setup's gonna look like. But I'll like throw up some photos here. Like, clearly I like, again, very neutral, very like farmhousey. I would throw in some pops of color, definitely. I love this photo with the built-in bookshelf. Like, I would love to have some kind of like book area. That would be really, really nice. This is kind of what this, like, ideally dream house, this would be the outside, what the outside would look like. That's a little too much. Like, I wouldn't do that much with the flowers because I probably wouldn't be able to like take care of them and water them all the time. But like, again, like porch is kind of the vibe I'm going for, like being able to like decorate the porch, and then something like this on said porch, like a cute little area where we can sit, hang out with people. Like, I don't know, I think that that's so cute. Or even if our kids are playing in the front yard and we can like sit here and watch them play. This would be the backyard inspo, like patio type thing. Nothing huge or crazy. Like the fence, obviously that would be nice, but fences are hella expensive. But just something like this, like a little patio area, again, where we could put like a chair, a little seating area, have the grill, fireplace, and then kitchen. Oh, I love this kitchen. It's so basic, but it's very farmhouse-esque. I like the black fixtures, the windows. I love the windows. But yeah, that's kind of my style for the house. Again, might be lame, but sorry. I only have a few more questions. These last ones are ones that I missed in like my generic questions. So these last ones will be quick and easy, hopefully. First one, do you think you'll always keep a budget? Yeah, I do. I think it's been so helpful and like life-changing for me to have a budget and track everything, and it's helped me like not spend on stupid stuff anymore. Dream travel destination. I think right now like if I were to say right now, it would be Spain and Portugal. That's been my next kind of like bigger trip that I would want to go on. Other than that, maybe Croatia, Hawaii. I would love to go to Hawaii, somewhere where the water's warm. Someone asked, what do I miss about New Hampshire? This question's funny because I know the person who asked the question is from New Hampshire. I miss my family. All my family's still up there, my extended family. Like, I really enjoyed my childhood experience. I liked the schools that I went to. I had good friends up there, so I miss my friends and family for sure. The reason we didn't want to move back is my parents don't see themselves living there forever. They want to move to Florida. My brother doesn't live there, so my immediate family doesn't live there, but my extended family does. So we do miss, well, my parents do still live there, but like something I don't miss is the weather. It's very similar to Pennsylvania, obviously, but they get way more snow. Like, it seems like they get more storms and more quantity of snow than us. So I don't miss that. The last question that I'm going to answer, and it's kind of a hard question, is what shows are on my to-be-watched list. I like rewatching comfort shows. And my favorite top comfort shows are The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, New Girl. So those shows I would watch any day. But I don't really have anything that I would watch that I would like that's on my list to watch, really. So that wasn't super exciting of an answer, but I have been talking so long. This video is gonna be so long. I didn't even finish my laundry, folding my laundry. As I said, I get very distracted. I can't talk and do anything at the same time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed sharing a little bit more of like my life with you guys and answering questions. I always find these videos really fun, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something or learned something about me. But yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you soon in my next video.